So here are the 3 things you need to negotiate when buying a new used car. So welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to talk about 3 things when you're negotiating on a new used car from a dealership. Now you may ask, what qualifies me to give you guys advice on that? Well, a little bit of history on me. I used to work at a dealership for about a 1.5 to 2 year period. I learned a lot. I learned that I don't like selling cars. There's just parts to it that it just didn't feel comfortable, and it just didn't really work for me. But I did learn a lot in that situation that I want to share with you today. So there are 3 main things that you can negotiate when it comes to buying a new used car. These 3 things will help you save money over the course of this negotiation, because when you go into a dealership, you got to put those shoes on, because the personnel, the sales personnel at the dealership are trained in sales. They are trained to make sure that that dealership makes as much money on that transaction as possible, because that's what benefits that business the most. So you going in there with the right tools to be able to negotiate with those people is going to help you get the best deal for you, and also to put a little pressure on the dealership, because you know what you're talking about when you walk into that dealership to negotiate.
Number 1
is the price of the vehicle. That used car is always negotiable, and keep that in mind. So whenever that car's sale price tag on there, you may see that car while driving by, and you'll see that sometimes that price will go up, that price will go down. It depends on how long that vehicle has sat on that lot. The longer a vehicle sits on a lot, the more negotiable that price is going to be for you. So that's one thing that I would ask the dealership, is how long has this vehicle been on the lot? And if you ask them and they say, well, 30 days. 30 days is kind of a long time for a vehicle to sit on the lot. And the longer it sits on that lot, the more negotiating room you're going to have for them to drop in price. Because a vehicle that sits on a lot at a dealership is one that's not worth it to them. It's more of a liability that they have to carry those carrying costs than having to get rid of the car as soon as possible when it first sells. So a hot buy for them is something that gets turned around within a week or 2 weeks. So if you are going into the dealership, that price on that car is negotiable, and the first thing you're going to want to ask them is, how long has that car been sitting here? What I would advise to you on that vehicle is drive it first. Make sure it has no noises, inspect every inch of the outside and the inside, and if you find any little thing wrong, just start checking it down. As soon as you find something wrong that devalues the price that they're currently at, it's just more negotiating tools that you have to negotiate off that sale tag price that they have listed. So, finding scratches, finding noises, finding tires that need to be replaced, those kinds of things, a detail on the vehicle that needs to be done. If it's not detailed up to your standards, let them know, well, I want this vehicle fully detailed. Now, they may detail it for you, but one thing I would consider, if they want to sell that car right away, they're probably not going to detail it, and you may be able to negotiate a few $100s even further, because the car's not clean to your standards, or at least clean to the standards that you would like. The other thing about that used car and that used car price is, take that car to your local mechanic. A lot of people take vehicles to us to have them inspected, to make sure that that vehicle's engine, the transmission, and all the drivetrain is running properly. And while that vehicle goes to your mechanic, have the mechanic do a full inspection on everything that possibly could be wrong or needed to be repaired, including brakes, ball joints, front end, alignment, anything on that car that's going to cost you money within the next 2 weeks to month. You want to use that as a negotiating chip to basically tell them, well, this vehicle needs this much work, so I'm going to have to incur this cost right after I buy this vehicle. So you could use that to bring that cost down according to what a mechanic finds on that used car. The cosmetic parts, the detail, the scratches, those kinds of things that have to be corrected by a professional shop like we do, where we correct exterior issues like scratches, tree sap, road grime, anything on the outside. If you rub your hand over the top of the hood or over the back of the vehicle and it feels rough at all, that has to be clayed and that has to be paint corrected by a professional. Again, another bargaining chip to lower that price. And this is especially true for a car that has a as-is warranty sticker on the window. Basically, that means is as soon as you buy it, they're not responsible for anything after the sale. So in those cases, if a car says as is, make sure that you know everything wrong with that car so you can negotiate as far down as possible to get that dealership sales staff to budge, to get as low as you can possibly get it. Now, the bottom line to this is be nice. Don't scream, don't yell, don't curse. Be nice with these people. Give them your objections to the sale that are completely legitimate. The cost to repair, the cost to detail, the cost to correct paint issues. All those things are legitimate bargaining chips to lower that price. If you just go in there just mean and nasty, they're not going to want to work with you. So again, the bottom line to point number 1 is be nice.
Number 2.
Now the second thing that you can negotiate on is your trade-in. When you bring a trade-in vehicle, dealerships thrive on buying and selling used cars. Buying is one of them. So when they buy a used car from somebody, they want to get the lowest price that they can get from that person, or what they consider the book value from that person, so that they can turn around and sell that car for as much as they can possibly sell on the retail side after they do their repairs or reconditioning. So make sure that when you bring a used car, so if you are bringing a used car for trade for that dealer, make sure that it's running good. Make sure that it's not leaking fluid everywhere. If you've done your maintenance, bring all your service records in to show them that this is a solidly maintained vehicle. And then make sure that you've detailed the vehicle. Make sure that if you know how to polish the outside, get it polished. If you have a friend that knows how to do that, make sure that they've have plenty of experience, but make sure that you get it polished, make sure it's nice, make sure it's clean, have the engine detailed, make it look like a nice new car. If it looks like a nice new car, not a vehicle that's been driven and just kind of beat up for the past 10 years, they're going to be more likely to give you more money for that vehicle on the trade-in. If there's service records that come with it, they're going to give you more money for that trade-in because you have almost guaranteed to them that you have taken care of this vehicle. So if you have a trade-in, bring all that proof of maintenance, bring in a clean, nice, detailed vehicle that's presented to them just in the same way you would present that clean, nice vehicle to a private party sale. And again, be nice.
And number 3.
And the third thing, and this is something that most people don't even think about. Once you've agreed to the terms, whether that's the price of the car you're buying, and then the vehicle that you've brought in on trade, and you've agreed to buy it for this much and sell your car for this much, or even if you don't have a trade, when you go in to finance that vehicle, unless you're paying cash for a vehicle, this doesn't necessarily apply, but if you're financing vehicle, which is for most people, the finance rate that you get from the finance department after you've signed everything off saying that you're going to buy the car, that finance rate is not exactly what the bank has presented to them what your finance rate is. So, dealers are going to hate that I say this, but when you go to the finance department, they've already pre-qualified you on your credit application for 4 or 5 different banks, and they're going to have a bunch of different rates for that. And then those rates also come with stipulations. Well, this person needs this much down or whatever. The banks are going to say that. But whenever a bank gives a rate to that finance officer, they're going to have a rate of like 2% or 3% or 3.5% or whatever that rate may be. And then the finance person is going to tack on, for the dealership's sake, another 1.5% or 2% or whatever that they decide on that deal. So if it's 3.5% from the bank, it's another 1.5% to the dealership. So again, that rate is negotiable. So if you go into the finance and they tell you, well, it's 5% on your $10,000 loan to buy this car, negotiate. Say, well, I don't want 5%, I want 4%. Or say, I want, try to chip them down as much as you possibly can. If it's 5%, try to chip them down 1%. If they won't go down 1%, try to do 0.5%. Now, there's another way you can avoid all this if you have also good credit. You can go to your banking or financial institution and you can go and get pre-qualified for a loan of $10,000, $15,000, and the bank will give you that rate. That way you can avoid this step by going to the dealership with your own pre-approval amount of how much you can afford, which basically the bank's going to say, well, you want a $250 payment a month on your car, then we're going to loan you this X amount of dollars, 10 or 15,000, whatever it may be, depending on the rate, for this many years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And in those cases, you can completely avoid the finance department because you're already pre-approved. All you have to do is get your bank with the dealership, and then they basically pay for the car, and then you just start paying your bank. So it makes that process easier if you go already pre-approved from your bank into the dealership when negotiating on your next new used car. And all of this is especially true if you have good credit. If you have good credit, you might as well just get pre-approved outside of that dealership already. Unless you're buying a new car, which they have incentives and rates and those kinds of things. If you qualify, 0% for a certain amount of time, those kinds of things. That's why having good credit will always help in this negotiation. But again, once you get to finance, if you didn't go already get pre-approved by your bank, be nice. Be nice with them. Just say, hey, you know, I know that rates are pretty good. I've been shopping around. I've been looking around. I don't want to pay 5% on this auto loan. I want to pay 4.5%. I want to pay 4%. I want to pay 3.5%. And it takes diligence and it takes a little bit of grit in order to do this back and forth, because they're going to fight you. They're going to fight you because they want to try to maintain as much money for themselves as possible, because this is a business. They just want to make money on every single transaction as much as they possibly can. This isn't bad. This is done on all kinds of dealerships, the reputable ones and the irreputable ones. The irreputable ones will just kind of give you whatever information they want to, and they will not disclose certain information about cars, which basically makes the whole industry shady from that perspective. But the reputable ones will even still go back and forth with the negotiation, and they will work with you. You just kind of have to stick to your guns. Sometimes, in some cases, you may have to, if you know you have a good deal, you know you have good credit, you know you're qualified for the loan, you get up and you walk away. And trust me, if you get up and walk away and you wait a few days to a week, they'll probably call you. They'll probably call you and say, hey, you still interested in that car because we dropped it 500 or whatever it is. So sometimes in some cases you may have to walk away in order to get that deal. In order to get them to budge, you may have to act like, okay, well, you didn't meet what I was wanting on my negotiation, so I'm basically going to walk away, but thank you for your time. And like I said, if you're nice, they will call you back and they'll probably drop that rate or that sale price or whatever it may be, or increase your trade amount by another $500. So again, you just have to have that thick skin when you're going into the dealership and doing these negotiations. Like this video if it brought you some value. This was a bit of my history in the automotive industry. I've been in the automotive industry for most of my life. So any questions that you guys have, leave them down in the comments section. Subscribe so you don't miss any more of our new videos. Follow us on Facebook or our website, pitstopcarcare.com.